is on the move. And as usual, we start off with our gender-based violence focus on a Monday morning. Very important conversations that we need to have, not just here in South Africa, but all across the world. And when we speak about gender-based violence, we do focus a lot on the victim, as we should, because there are so many victims of gender-based violence. This does cause a lot of trauma. But it is rarely when we speak about the harm that is caused by gender-based violence that we focus on those who are quite close to the victim themselves. I'm speaking about family members, children, friends, colleagues, whose lives are also changed profoundly when someone close to them experiences gender-based violence. So, they carry fear, they carry anger, confusion, guilt sometimes, and also the struggle of trying to help the victim who sometimes isn't in the right space to receive that help. So today we're looking at that, the impact of gender-based violence on those who are close to the victim, the emotional, social, and psychological toll that it takes on them as well. Joining us on the line is Denise Ngele Muli, who is a counseling psychologist helping us unpack this. Denise, thank you so much for your time. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, Denise, it is hard conversations to have about gender-based violence, and we've spoken and unpacked quite a number of ways that victims are impacted by the harm caused around gender-based violence, but nobody really seems to care about those close to the victim themselves, and it seems like we don't really understand that trauma can be passed on to those who are close to the victims of gender-based violence. Do you care to explain to us how this is possible?
This is possible because they are there. They witness it, they hear it, and they see it. And it affects them emotionally, psychologically, physically, and even spiritually at some point, because they are close to these people. They're the people that they love, and they thought or think they love them back, yet they experience such things.
Yeah.
Especially on children.
Mm. And that's the thing, right? Yeah. I think if we're having this conversation, the first thought that comes to most of us is the children of those who are affected by gender-based violence. That on its own means gender-based violence to the children in most perspectives. But I want to move away from that a little bit because it seems quite obvious. And what isn't obvious is the other people in that person's lives. We take for granted our friends, our family members, and sometimes how they're impacted by the traumas of gender-based violence. There are so many instances that, many people can encounter where someone close to them, maybe a friend or a family member, a sister, is, going through gender-based violence. And you're constantly trying to say, hey, why don't you leave this person who's going through this? And then they come back to you and say, look, they harmed me again. They're doing this, they're doing that. And that emotional toll that person goes through, trying to assist, but not actually knowing how to, can be quite a precarious position for somebody to be in, isn't it?
Yes, it can. It can, because you become completely helpless. This is somebody that you're seeing is in pain, that she's not in a good relationship, that actually she's being battered, and not even that. Maybe it's not even physical. She or he might be being abused every day, being put down, being looked down upon, and it makes this person die bit by bit every day. Yet the person that is in that scenario, the victim herself or himself, doesn't see it, because at some point they get kind of crippled. They get so attached to this person, or love blinds them to a point that they think they cannot actually live without this person. They actually feel that their lives is not going to be complete without this person. Or again, this person could not be financially stable. And that is the biggest challenge that we have. The husband might not be financially stable, or the wife might not be financially stable. So they're thinking, if I leave, where am I going to start from? Especially for women. And I'm not being gender biased, but I have seen that this occurs mostly when it comes to women.
Hmm. Well,
Some
Denise, we
women
need to
are
take a bit
not.
of a break. Sorry to halt you there. We'll continue on that one. We're speaking to Denise Ngele Muli, who's a counseling psychologist. It's 20 minutes past 9 o'clock Central African time. We'll continue to speak on the impact of GBV on those who are close to victims.
Your life, your rhythm, your Africa. Channel Africa. Find it for free on Google Play and the Apple App Store. Gratitude begins with a story. Find yours on Channel Africa. Now streaming on our new website and mobile app. Palesa and Benjamin fuel your day with fresh African perspective on Channel Africa.
Hey, we're speaking to Denise Ngele Muli, counseling psychologist. We've been doing this GBV focused for most of the year. We continue to speak on matters around GBV. It's a serious matter here in South Africa and many parts of the African continent. And today we're exploring the impact of gender-based violence on those who are close to the victims. It manifests itself emotionally, socially, financially, and even psychologically. So we'll continue this conversation with Denise. Denise, let's speak a little bit about also how, the abuse that happens in homes also can affect children. It can affect parents. It's not an easy situation at all. And sometimes the focus, as it should be, is on the victim. And sometimes we leave the children behind or the parents behind who might be also living in the same situation. But trauma doesn't just stay with the victim. It can also be passed on to those who are around the victim.
Yeah. You've mentioned parents. With parents, it's something that is a bit complicated because they get affected in this way. If this man or this woman walks out of their marriage, then there is this issue of shame that so-and-so's child's marriage didn't work. And maybe this person is somebody that is known in the society, or maybe has a cluster in the society, or it's somebody that people to say they don't even know how they explain it to people that their children's marriage didn't work. Not that it's necessary for you to explain to people what happened, but the society that we live in has made it its business to poke their noses in other people's business. And when a marriage doesn't work, then either you didn't bring up this child well, or she was just not good enough for the marriage. Maybe she didn't do that, or he didn't do that, or he did not provide for his family properly, or maybe he cheated. They don't really come to the point of there might have been abuse in that marriage. And it's sad because when it comes to the man being abused, it's normally hidden. And it's sad because, again, this man is the one that might be hiding it, that he's being abused by the wife, maybe physically, maybe mentally, maybe verbally. It's like it's a taboo for a man to come out and say, my wife is actually beating me up, or my wife calls me names, or my wife degrades me in front of my children or in front of our friends, because a man is a man in the African setting. A man should be a man. A woman should not tell him anything, or be above him. But we find that there are some men who are actually abused by their wives, but they don't know how to come out.
Yeah.
And they don't even know how to say it loud to their friends.
And also the children, how do you think they get affected in this abusive environment?
Oh, it's sad because we normally think that children don't know what is going on, but they see it and they hear it and they feel it. When parents argue, or when one parent shouts at the other one, the child hears and she sees your facial expression, she sees your body reaction. And just because they're so helpless, they cannot help you, it kills them inside. it scares them. At some point, it makes them feel as if they are the cause of you two quarreling or fighting. And it affects them to a point that they become, they detach from everything and everyone.
Yeah.
They have low self-esteem. And because they cannot actually talk to somebody else and tell them that mom is beating dad or dad is beating up mom, and that pain is too much, that pain has to come out at some point, because our bodies cannot handle pain. It has to come out somehow. You find them self-harming themselves. I will call her Fatuma.
Yeah.
Fatuma's parents used to quarrel all the time, and she never used to talk about it. She never told anyone. And the only way that she could deal with that pain was she started cutting herself. She started self-harming herself to get rid of, so that she can feel that pain and for it to come out. And by the time the parents realized it, it was so far gone, she had to be taken to a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
You know, her grades went down, and then she started just locking herself in her room the whole day.
So there is quite a huge impact, right? There is quite a huge impact on those children who in turn are also experiencing the gender-based violence as well. You spoke earlier about the helplessness that people like friends or parents or even colleagues can feel when they're experiencing someone who is going through that gender-based violence. And someone might say, why are we even having this conversation? Because it's not about you. You're not the one facing the trauma. You're not the one facing this violence, and you want to make the subject matter about you. But let's speak about the realness of this impact, right? Being helpless, the realness of the impact of helplessness when trying to help someone that means a lot to you as well, but seeing them going through something that you can't exactly pull them out of. What are the psychological impacts of that?
You find that this person becomes kind of hopeless, for lack of a better word. At their workplace, their work performance starts going down, which affects the economy per se, because there's no performance at work. Psychologically, she feels or he feels he's not good enough, or she's not good enough, or this friend or this family member can't get the words or the means to get them out, because at some point the society might say that you are the one who actually got in the midst of them. You are the one who broke that marriage, because maybe you advised him or her this way, and you are not there as per se when these things were happening. So it leaves you completely helpless, because if you say this and this person actually takes the steps and gets out of the house, it will fall back on you. That maybe you are not for the marriage in the first place. And if it's a woman that advised a fellow woman, something might come up of maybe she wanted the husband. It's just messed up. And again, there's no way you can tell somebody to come out, not unless they make that decision themselves.
All right.
They have to come to that point.
All right, we've run out of time, Denise, unfortunately. Just as we wrap up in 30 seconds, what do you think should be prioritized by those who are close to the victim?
Make them very aware of what is going on.
Yeah.
And let them know that it's never that serious. Life has to go on. If this person died this minute, your life has to go on. Your life will continue. So that means if you walk out, your life will still go on. You don't have to die in that marriage. You don't have to kill yourself to make you somebody happy. And again, shame has never killed anyone. You will feel that shame for some time, and then it's going to wear off.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to think about yourself. You have to love yourself enough to walk away from something that is hurting you, that is killing you.
Sure. Denise, we have to leave it there. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. Denise, where can people find you online? Where can they go to get more information of some of the work that you do?
Unfortunately, I'm not yet online.
Okay,
I just got my certificate and license recently.
Okay, cool.
But they can get me anytime. I have a platform called In Your Shoes.
Okay.
Denise Ngele Muli, that I talk about a lot of things. I touch on things about life.
Okay.
They can find me there on Facebook.
Fantastic. That's Denise Ngele Muli, counseling psychologist, helping us on our GBV focus. What do you think on that one?